Welcome to Her Lights, your home for women's sports coverage. I'm your host, Erin Foley, a stand-up comic, TV writer, and most important, an obsessed sports fan. I break down the best games, highlight the best stories, and interview the best from the world of women's sports. So put on your jerseys, stretch out your hammies, and let's do this. Hello, Herlighters. It's Erin Foley back in the booth talking women's sports. I am so excited for today's episode. We have Ally Carda with us, pro softball player, one of my favorite players. I'm so fired up to talk to her. And you're going to love her. You're going to love our conversation. If you're not a softball fan, doesn't even matter. She's got great stories. We talk about her personal life. It's going to be awesome. So before we get into that fantastic convo, let's jump into and do a little some recap and looking ahead into the wide world of women's sports. Herlighters, I went deep over the weekend. Are you shocked? Probably not. Man, it was fun. Okay, so Saturday I watched the Women's Lacrosse League Championship. Maryland Charm beat the California Palms 16-13. Now listen, full disclosure, I've never played lacrosse. I've never been to a lacrosse game, and I've never watched an entire lacrosse game. I've just watched clips and highlights, just supporting the league. This was the first full season of women's pro lacrosse. They've had events and some games here and there, but this was the first full summer of lacrosse. And let me tell you this, I am so hooked. I am so hooked. Am I surprised? No, but I'm just saying, for not knowing the game, you didn't even need to. It was so action-packed. These women are such incredible athletes. They play behind the net. I loved it. There's a shot clock. I'm texting a friend of mine who used to play collegiate lacrosse, being like, wait, what about this? What about this? It was so great. It was so great. And I'll give you a couple highlights because it's really fun. Okay, so one of my favorite players, Ally Kennedy. Now, I had known of her because she's on the national team as well. She was on the Maryland Charm, just like all-star, just amazing. Okay, I did not know this, but during the broadcast, and shout out to the broadcasters who gave us this fun story nugget for newbie fans like myself. She was playing against her partner, and her partner is Taylor Moreno, who is an incredible goalie for California, who also plays on the national team. Can you imagine? You're playing in the national championship game, and you're playing against your partner, and your partner's the goalie. I mean, I can't even. So your partner's flinging shots at you all game long. I mean, I don't know how both of them did it. Ally winds up scoring a goal towards the end, which was a very impactful goal. And then they have to be like, hey, good game. And then they go back home together. And I just love it. I just love it because it's such a unique to women's sports. I mean, I couldn't. I was eating it all up. Post game, I did a huge deep dive. I'm going to have one of these players, if not them, someone, on either team on the show in the next couple of weeks. And I loved it. Okay, here's another really fun story. There's a player in Maryland Charm called, her name is Alex Holman, right? So she did not score a single goal throughout the entire season. Their season's not long, by the way. I mean, this is their first foray into a professional season. But that being said, she didn't score a goal the entire season. She scored a hat trick in the finals. A hat trick, 3 goals in the championship game. Wait for it. 10 months after giving birth to her son, Tiger. I mean, can you stand it? She gives birth, less than a year later, comes back and scores a hat trick in the championship game. They won by 3. It was 16-13. And it was back and forth. And the action was nonstop. And you were anybody could have won this game. I mean, so great. And then I'll put this in the show notes. This morning, I saw this clip of Ally talking about Alex. She was tearing up, saying what a badass she is, how inspiring that is. You don't have to give up your career to become a mom. Okay, I'm tearing up right now. It was so feel good. I love this. I'm so hooked on women's lacrosse. Okay, so there's the pro season's over, but the college season, I actually need to figure out, I think it's a spring season, but I'm all in. And also another fun fact is there was all these players on the field, and I'm sure throughout the league, believe me, I'll do 10 deep dives, that are collegiate coaches which is so fun. It's like you're not only a pro player, but you're also a collegiate coach. So I'll there'll be more and more information about women's lacrosse coming out. I'll do some deep dives. I'll have some players slash coaches on the show. I just loved it. So congratulations, honestly, to both teams, to all the teams in the league, but a super congratulations to Maryland for taking the championship because wow, it was just it was an awesome game and I loved every second. Okay, on to hoops. A lot of hoop action over the week and continuing through this week. I just want to give a shout out to Candace Parker, Elena Deladun, Shamika Holsclaw, and the 1996 U.S. Women's Olympic basketball team, all inducted to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame on Saturday. I was just in tears. I mean, their speeches were amazing. And I just wanted to bring this up because you can watch all their speeches on YouTube, and I highly recommend it. I mean, I just felt so lucky that I watched all of this. I mean, I watched all of them play. I got to see Candace Parker, Elena, Shamika, and the 1996 Olympic women's basketball play. Yes, it means a little bit older, but you know what? Who gives a shit? Because I got to see their entire careers. So just a shout out and a huge congratulations to them. And again, go to YouTube and watch these speeches. Part two, Diana Taurasi, my favorite player of all time, because I grew up a UConn fan. I watched her entire collegiate career. I stood at a UConn gift shop. I've told the story before. I'm not going to tell the story again. I'll just give you the one line version. I was trying to figure out if I was gay in my 20s. I was so gay. And I was at a UConn gift shop staring at her jersey, being like, I should get the jersey. She's my favorite player of all time. I should get the jersey. And then I was like, the jersey's going to make me look super gay. And I was like having a battle with myself of like, am I gay or am I not gay? And it was over a Diana Taurasi jersey. So of course I've been low key, as the young people say, obsessed with her in her entire career. Watched her play, 3 championships, all of it. Anyway, they retired her jersey. It's in the rafters. The entire ceremony was so amazing. Again, watch this on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. It was just, tearjerker moments. Hearing Penny, her wife, talk about it, all these other players talk about her, her words, her parents. Oh, God, it was amazing. So, congratulations to DT, an absolute legend. Again, watch all these speeches because, life is hard and we're in 75 different wars and you need some feel good and inspirational moments. So go listen to these incredible women speak. WNBA action heating up. We're figuring out like playoff implications, who's wrapping up playoff picture. We're nearing sort of like the last, true month of the season. So watch these games. Okay. I watched a whole bunch over. I watched Indiana play Atlanta. I watched so many games over the weekend. I want to tell everybody this: Lynx Valkyries Wednesday night. That is going to be the game to watch. It'll be on ESPN. Lynx Valkyries, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I will be at Untamed Spirits in LA. That is our women's sports bar. Come say hi. There's a group of us going. So yeah, Herlighters, get to Untamed Spirits if you live in Los Angeles and watch the game with me. It's going to be super fun. Okay, soccer. I was at ACFC. I live in LA. That's my team. I got to see the Washington Spirit play ACFC Sunday night. So fun. 1-1 tie. I have to say, ACFC, they are playing some really solid soccer right now. Everybody's heard me complain, and if you are a fan, you're right there with me. It has been the most unstable 5 years of a franchise. I think there's, I don't know, 26 different coaches, 75 different roster changes. They fired the coach a couple weeks ago. They got rid of Fuller. They sent her to Bay FC. I was outraged. And then they gave us one piece of good news that we got Ellie Setnor, who plays on the national team from Kansas City. And she's having kind of a rough season anyway. Sunday night, she just like came to life. She had, okay, so one goal that did count in the 85th minute, the equalizer, but she had a goal before that, which was a banger of a goal. And then it got called back because someone had a handball, allegedly. So I'm hoping that Ally like takes like this momentum from this game because oh my God, her goals are just absolutely incredible. And I got to see a Trinity Rodman goal. Of course, I love her too. So it was really fun. But Angel City, I would say they I wouldn't say dominated the entire game, but I would say like 60% of the game. They were in full control, 65, 70%. So again, if you live in a city with an NWSL soccer team, go to these games. They're magical. They're so fun. They're so high energy, incredible athletes, incredible play on the pitch. I love every second of it. And again, the playoff picture is slowly shaping up. We've got Gotham FC, who's playing Angel City next Sunday. I'm going to be at that game. Got Washington Spirit at a high level, but then you've got like Utah, San Diego. LA's on the outside looking in. It's so fun. And also, just want to say this: Sydney Leroux came back. She played in the last couple minutes of the game. The place went insane when they announced her. She hasn't played since 2024, dealing with physical and mental health issues. It was so good to see her back on the pitch. It was just like a really heartwarming moment. So I love it. Watch all these games. Watch all these games, people. There's so much incredible athleticism and just heartwarming moments. Okay, let's get into our conversation with Ally Carda. Man, I'm fired up about this. I've been watching her play softball for a very long time. She pitched at UCLA. I'm wearing my hat, my UCLA softball hat. So I got to see her play collegiately. She was a two-time Pac-12 Player of the Year, a two-time first-team All-American. She was on the Olympic team that won the silver medal in Tokyo. And since college, Ally has been part of like every pro softball league here in the States, right? They would start, they'd stop, NPF to the WPF. And now she's on the Athletes Unlimited Softball League. She plays for the Texas Volts. I got to see her play this summer, which we'll talk about. And at the same time, she's been playing professionally in Japan, which was one of my favorite parts of the conversation. Listen, we cover plenty of the softball, but we also get into her life off the field, including her very ambitious home renovation, which she and her partner Kelly decided to tackle themselves. It was hilarious. You'll love it. So let's jump right in. Okay, so we've established that I'm wearing my UCLA softball hat because I am a longtime Bruin fan. I'm from the East Coast, but I moved out here and I was like, well, I have got to pick a team. So I'm going to go with, I was obsessed with Lisa Fernandez. So I was like, well, I have to, this is like
Good
so
choice.
easy,
Great choice. Yeah.
right? So I saw you play at UCLA, which was super fun. And then, of course, the Olympics. And then I got lucky, and we'll talk about this later, but I got to see you pitch for Texas this summer. And we'll get into all of that. But so obviously, it's so fun to finally meet you in person, AKA Zoom.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
but I wanted to one of the jumping off point here is I wanted to really give my listeners like a sense of for them to really understand what it actually looks like for like the life of a professional softball player because people don't really understand like what it takes to like play year round and make a living, right? And you have like this really unique story because you play in Japan for part of the year, then you also play in the US. So let's jump in there. Like, talk us through the schedule, the insanity of it all, and what it takes for you to play year round.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest point on why I went over to Japan in the first place was because I get to play year round. We're getting there here in the States, but not quite there yet to make a living just playing in the States. So I go over to Japan in March usually. And then our season starts the first week of April. So I'm there from mid-March until mid-June. We play probably about 22 to 25 games in that half and then come back home for summer. This year I played in the AUSL. So from end of June until beginning of August, I was with the Texas Volts playing here in the States, which was fun because I haven't played in the States in a few years. So that was awesome. And then we had some USA national team things sprinkled in there. And then I will go back to Japan. They have two different halves. So I'll go back for my second half next week. So on end of August until around Thanksgiving time, then I come back home and the holiday time is kind of my big off period that I get to have. So or I just get after the training piece. But yeah, get to play all year round. That's so much fun.
It's It's really incredible. I mean, I obviously you have to love it because you're literally in Japan. And I had
Yeah.
Michelle Smith on the show like 5 or 6 years ago, and she was, saying what an incredible experience it was. But I'd love to know like your experience there, and obviously that you could play year round, and we'll get to, that softball needs to be insanely funded so
Yeah.
everybody can stay at home. But like, what was the besides the opportunity to play, like how did that opportunity come up?
Yeah, so when I graduated from UCLA, I actually got asked to come play and I just wasn't ready. Like I almost wanted to like be done with softball. I wanted to go get a real people job and like just be done
Ew.
with it. I know, right? I'm like, thank God I did it. But I got asked when I first graduated and I just wasn't ready. I was like, I'm not in the headspace. I was burnt out, all the things. So I didn't go. And then 3, 4 years later, right before the 2020 Olympic period time, I think it was like 2018, 2019. Um, I didn't make the USA team, like the A team. There's always like the national team and then there's an elite team. And so I was on that elite team and I was like, I need to play. I need to play more games. I need to play year round. Like I need to commit to more. I need to do more if I'm going to make the Olympic team in 2020. And so my original like why for going over there was to play and like get game, get pitching, like play and pitch every day and like get myself where I needed to be softball wise. Also like mentally, I needed to be challenged physically, all the things like why I didn't make that A team. I was like, I'm gonna go over to Japan and got another opportunity, thankfully, and was able to like go over there and just be a full-time softball player and put myself in the best position to make that 2020 team. So that was my originally why I went over there. Didn't think anything on being over there now. This is currently my 8th year, which is crazy. Never, I went from not wanting to play softball anymore to now I'm 8 years in Japan, plus, however many pro wise, I'm at like 12 years. And so anyway, it's been so fun. But now every year it was just kind of like, I loved the game more. Like I came out of college burnt out. I did USA stuff, did some pro stuff, but like each year I went over there, I loved the game so much more. It like brought such a new perspective, kind of put things into perspective. You just see the different culture to the different things. And so each year it just like it kind of sparked my love of softball again, which became why I continued to stay over there.
That's awesome because that could have
Yeah.
gone the other way. Like you never know, right?
For
But like,
sure. Yeah. And that's why I'm glad I waited too, right? Like I
yeah,
could have went after I graduated, but I was like, I'm not ready yet. So I felt that I was ready and like ready to be pushed and all the things. And sometimes you don't have to be ready to do stuff, but I was glad I waited and went when I did because I really kind of fully dove into it.
I love it. I love that. And I love that the game of softball in Japan is so revered. I remember talking to Michelle about that. She's like, it's so highly respected. The level of play is awesome. Like what is your experience over there with respect levels and level of play?
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, their culture, right? It's just very about respect. So I think they take a lot of pride and have a lot of respect for baseball and softball. People know the big softball names over there. And I'm sure, maybe who's listening, it's different setup wise. So we play for big corporations. So I play for Team Honda, there's Toyota, there's Big Camera, there's all these like big corporations that the Japanese players are playing softball for themselves and for the team, but they're also playing for this company. So it is a lot of like, this is your job. And I do have to, respect and take pride in what I do because I'm not just playing for myself and my name. I'm playing for this company and getting to work for them and all these things. So I think that alone just like brings kind of the like validity of it all. But I think like it is your job. We literally go to practice. Some of them go into the company. You stay your work hours, you get your stuff in that you need to do. We all live in the same, if you're not living together, you're in the same area, you eat together. So it's constant like camaraderie all the time with your team too. You're doing all the hard things together. You're practicing together, and it's every day, all year round. So when we leave in the summer, they get a break from us Americans or gaijins they call us, but we then come back. But they're continuing to do it all
Oh,
year. So they live, breathes, die softball, but it also I think makes it like that's why it's so respected because it is your job. They love it, but it's your job and it's what you do and you take pride in that every single day.
That's really cool. Wait, and so you play for Honda.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
obviously, you know the next question, like how hooked up with cars do you get?
I get that question all the time and nothing. I get no car. I'm like, come on, guys. I was like, the girl should at least be getting some discount, something,
Come
but
on.
I know. I
They're like, you
wish.
can have an internship with the company.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want an internship with the
Yeah.
company. I want some wheels when I land. Wait,
Seriously.
where are you in Japan?
I'm about 2 hours north of Tokyo. So I'm actually in a little bit of like a smaller country town. I'm not in a big city. So a little bit different, but makes it fun too. It's a quiet little country town I live in.
And do you travel throughout the entire country? Is the league across the country of Japan?
Yep, it's kind of split. There's quite a few teams in southern Japan. So, the Kyoto areas, Osaka, there's a lot of teams down south. So we'll travel. I think we're almost as north as it gets. So there's nobody like super, super north. But even this year, we traveled up to like Sapporo, which is very top of Japan. And their league, the JD League, wanted to bring softball in that part of Japan. So we actually there was no teams from up there, but four of our teams went and played our series up there and got a lot of like new fans and different things. So I think they're really also trying to like grow the game in Japan for their viewers and everything. Because obviously baseball is huge over there, and the softball JD League is great, but they're always trying to grow our spectators and everything too. So we definitely travel up and down all over Japan.
What? I mean, is Japan as
Yeah.
magical as everybody describes it? It's like it's number one on my bucket list.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel like now I'm like, I laugh at myself because I'll be walking the street and I like see all these foreigners everywhere. And I'm just like, oh, you guys are the foreigners. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, this sounds so
Stupid
dumb. But I'm like,
Americans.
gosh, it's just, yeah, there's so many tourists everywhere. But it really is. Their tourist rate has gone up, but I just laugh at myself because I'm like, I
Yeah.
get to like live over here for half the year. And it really is incredible. It's beautiful. It's the fall. Like when I go back and like October, November is my favorite over there. So I always look forward to going back, but it's beautiful. It really is great.
So, all right, just one more question. I know it's been years, but um, it is obviously a culture shock, and then you're also a professional athlete landing. Do you have like any, distinct memories of when you landed when you're like, holy shit, did I make the right
Yeah.
call? Like, because that's
Yeah,
intense at
for
any
sure.
age, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just remember like they all come at you at once. They're all just like so excited. They all like we all laugh as like Americans because a lot of us have the same stories when we talk to each other about when we first went over there, and they just are like they're ruthless in something like they'll just come up and like poke you and be like, "Ooh, like what?" Like they'll say facto, like just funny different that you're like, "What?" Like you would never say that to somebody in America, but they're just so like in such a pure way. They're just so like honest and genuine and like just want to know you and love you and like and it's just so honest all the time. It's so pure and honest. So that's one of the things I just remember being like, oh my God, like almost a little like embarrassed, awkward, like why are there's like, us and like, well, we're tank tops and Lulu leggings. And that is like a big like they'll just look at you like, what are you wearing? So I just remember like at first being so like, oh my God, I don't know if I should say this or wear this or do this because it's a very just respectful culture. It's just different. And then here you got us like crazy
Yeah.
people coming out there just like whatever. So I think that was kind of my like, okay, how do I view myself, but also like respect, who they are and what they do too. So I just remember little moments like that when I first got there.
I love it. That's so fun. Yeah, and it also just seems like I just did like some quick research and then we'll pivot off this like of like, did you have any American, teammates? How many Americans are playing in the league? And it just from like this past season, it seemed like maybe one on each team or something like that. It didn't seem like a huge influx of American players.
Yeah, definitely not. They used to have a rule. They don't anymore. So each team can have as many as they want now. It used to be two, but there's I think two teams that have three or four players each, and that's like a lot. Usually, some teams don't have any, and then if they do, usually it's two of us. That's kind of the number for every team that has us. But I mean, two to, they probably have 18 others that are Japanese players. So it's definitely like a Japanese league that we are coming into as
Yeah.
foreigners. There's
Yeah.
not a bunch of players on the team foreign wise.
I was just thinking it would be really funny if like you only had one other teammate and it was like your nemesis from college
Yeah,
and you're like,
right? Yeah,
damn. You're like, oh,
literally.
you and
And
I
it
have to be
totally
friends.
could happen. Yeah, because they don't tell you a bunch of details before you like sign, like
Yeah.
who you're gonna, it's not like, hey, Honda's asking you and this team's asking you, who would you rather go to? It's like you don't know the company, you don't know maybe who your teammate is. We all now, I think, talk more than usual, but
Yeah.
like you have no idea. Like, so that could totally happen.
Yeah, I mean, because like well, it's interesting, and we can jump into the AUSL portion, and then I just a couple other personal stuff. But there's like now like fun rivalries, and I was thinking like with my UCLA fandom, like there's certain collegiate teams where I'm just like, if I have to watch Oklahoma win one more year, I'm going to lose my mind, right? And then like you're now I'm like, okay, who do I cheer for on the there's all my favorite players are
Yeah,
scattered on all these teams. You know what I mean? So but you can tell like, they're trying to like do some more rivalries, but like even
for
on
sure.
the Texas Volts, like I'm sure there's players on there that you're like, oh my God, I hated you in college.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
So actually an example, not hated because I didn't know her, but
Yeah.
Riley Boone, she played for Oklahoma. She's
Yeah.
outfielder and I never knew her. So I'm too old. She's
Yeah.
younger. I didn't play against her or anything, but I just remember watching her because I watched softball all the time when she was at Oklahoma. And then I found out I was going to be your teammate. And I've told her this and I'm like, I did not know about you. Like I was not sure. Your interviews, the freaking gum chewing, like she's like chewing it. And I'm like, Boone, I literally I was like, I did not think I was going to be able to talk to you when I first, and I got there, and she was probably one of my favorite people on the team. So things that like happen like that
Yeah.
too, where you for sure like either you hate playing against them, but it's like I'd rather you on my team than play against you because you're
Oh
just
yeah.
so annoying
Yeah.
or in your face or whatever. You're so competitive. So it's like when you get them on your side, then it's like, all right, it's all right.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, there's so many players across all of women's sports, and you're like, oh my God, that person is so annoying, but I need them on my team. Like
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
only love them if you're like you ride or
for
die on the
sure.
team, but if they're playing against you, you're like, that is the most annoying
Yeah,
person. Yeah, yeah. It
for sure.
just happens. I had this really fun, interesting experience. So my sister's a professor at Baylor and like New Yorker her whole life, and now she winds up in Waco, right? So I was visiting her this summer, and I realized you guys had a home game. I just got lucky because you happened to be pitching, right? So I was just
That's
like, oh my
awesome.
God, the stars have aligned. But it's like 90 minutes from Waco. I will go anywhere to watch like any women's sports event, but I love softball. And I don't want to brag, played in high school and left field. Anyway, slow pitch, so boring. Anyway, here we go. So I'm in Texas. I get in the car. I convince a bunch of friends from Austin to come up because it's like, half hour outside of Austin or something
Yeah.
in Dell Diamond Field, and I've got a really fun, nerdy field question. But anyway, so we go, and I start talking to this person, start talking to this person. Turns out, like, I know these lesbos from something and blah, blah, blah. I can say that because I couldn't be gayer.
Yeah.
So they're all like Texas Volts fans, right? But they're also UT fans. And you guys were playing Carolina with Reese
Okay.
Atwood,
Yeah.
and they had a real moment of like, no, but we love
Yeah.
Reese
What do I
Atwood.
do?
Like they were like, oh God, God. It was just really fun to see this
That's
like
awesome.
fandom. And they were like beside
Yeah.
themselves, trying to be like, wait, who do we cheer
Yeah.
for?
What do I do? That
Yeah.
is awesome. That's hilarious. I will, those UT girls, man, they
Wow.
got so much love. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty fun. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
it's fun. I think that's like one of the coolest things about softball too, though, is like you just have like softball fans. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that we're trying to create the rivalry, and I think you need that in sport, like
Yeah.
all the things, but it's pretty cool, like especially at Dell Diamond, it was like you could see how just many people loved softball. Like they would be our fans and cheer, but then it was like they would only just cheer for Reese if she was up,
Yeah.
so
I
you
heard it. I
definitely
heard that.
have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
literally, I mean, people went crazy. So that's cool though, because they know the game. They know
Yeah.
how legit she is. They know where she came from. Like that's people who know softball, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it was really fun. The
That's
like
awesome.
I usually try to get like, I don't like sitting in like fancy, like I like to be like 2 rows back. I want to hear
In
everything, but it
it.
was
Yeah.
790 degrees and I have translucent white Irish skin. And I was like, I put myself in like the box up top where you could like, you could sit in the stands a little bit and then go right back into AC.
Yep.
So I just was like, I can't because it's
Oh,
just
it
too
was
hot.
brutal. It
But
was
it
hot.
was so I can't even imagine like playing whatever, but it was fun to hear all these like Texas fans be so excited for your team. And then like they also when Nyjah, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Canada didn't pitch. I think the night before she had her like that complete game, but they were like so excited to cheer for Canada. But then they're like, no, but we don't like her because it was Texas.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was really fun to see.
That's awesome. That's super cool.
All right, here's my nerdy field question.
Okay.
So obviously you get there and you're like, oh my God, this is so exciting. It's like you've got team names now, you've got rivalries, you've got uniforms, you've got, and I've watched, you've
Yeah.
lived it. You've seen every iteration of this pro, just
Yeah.
this league folds, this league takes the baton, this league folds. And we'll get to to that question. But the field itself, you're playing in Dell Diamond. It's a men's AAA baseball stadium. So I was very torn because I was like, well, this is an amazing opportunity. They have the support of this, great. But also give these women a field that is a pro softball field. So I was like happy and enraged, which really
Yeah.
describes me being a fan of all women's sports, happy and also enraged.
Yes.
But like for listeners out there, and talk us through this, like, there's fields, there's grass in the infield, which there's usually dirt. There's like a lip between the outfield and infield that's dirt and grass. Like, do you guys lose your minds when you play? Like, talk us through the nerdy, this
Yeah.
field issue.
I mean, I'm with you because down the road there needs to be like professional softball stadium fields.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we're going to get there. But I will say for me personally, in Japan, we play on a lot of baseball fields and they put up stuff. So I wasn't too like, oh, this is weird. And I will say what made a big difference. I think in the past, like when I was in the NPF or WPF, we're playing still. We played in these massive AAA fields, but you didn't have people there. Like you didn't have the
Mm,
fans that we were getting. So that I will say made a huge difference because you are playing on this big thing and it is kind of weird because it's not a softball field. It's bigger. It feels like even as a pitcher pitching against something that has a really far backstop or things feel far away, it feels different pitch. It doesn't feel like you're as like explosive and like popping the glove is hard. It does have a different feel, but I will say, like fan wise, because we were getting the crowds we got at the big stadiums, it felt better. It felt like still legit and all the things. The grass was different. I didn't love playing like on all grass. That was different because it's like literally baseball,
yeah.
grass infield to dirt. So that was different. But again, I will say they like it felt professional in the sense that like the field crews and the stadium filled and just I mean the Dell Diamond is super nice. It's a great place. But if I could pick like down the road for softball stadiums, if we're gonna build softball professional fields, did you get to the Cascade game at all? Did you
No,
get to a
I
Portland game?
I
Okay.
didn't, but that's the bucket list. Wait,
That's like
wait,
my vision of
okay.
what a softball field would look like
But
is
isn't that in a AAA park as
it
well?
is. It
Okay.
is, but it's way smaller on
Okay.
like I think that the field itself on how it's the middle infield and things are ran, I don't think is as big of a thing as like the feel of the field to the dugout. So like how big the foul
Oh,
territories are. I
okay.
think for me at least, that's like it makes such a feel difference. And the Cascade in Portland, you had this really big field, but the stands are all low,
Right
like
there.
wrapped around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were right there. It really wasn't that much of a foul territory, a little bit behind home plate, but they put a drop down net, which made it feel closer. And the fans felt like they were right there. I was like, if I think that's like what a pro softball field should look like when we start building them, because it's going to happen. Like it
That's
was a really
really
cool feel.
that's really interesting. So let's just stay in this part of the ballpark. because I was going to ask you, like, what's, like, to me, it was like, when I was doing the research, because, you can only see so much on TV, but I have been to that Rosemont before.
Yeah,
And, but that's like the only pro,
yeah,
like one designed for pro softball. But you would rather
correct.
play, was it more fun to play in Portland than Chicago?
Um, it was, and I'm not like knocking Chicago because I
Yeah.
love it. And I think Chicago has like the richest softball history.
Yeah.
And that stadium has been there forever. So like they did it first. They
Yeah.
built us a pro softball stadium. But I just thought the feel in Portland was really cool. And that could have been to like the fans again, they like knew softball. They knew their
Yeah.
stuff. They showed up every game. I mean, they sold out, I think, the most out of any team. Like all their home games, I think, were sold
All of
out.
them were sold out. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, it was pretty crazy. So, but again, it was just cool. It was a really cool feel. It was just like they felt like they were right there in it with you, which I thought was really fun. Yeah, so I appreciated that.
I love that. Yeah. So, all right. So, what do you think it takes? Like, what is, obviously you want your own fields. Like, do players talk about it? Does the league, like, I don't know. Do you guys have a players association or players union, or are
We
you working
should.
on that?
No, hopefully we're working on it. We have like a PW, like a there it's not an association, but there's players who are on a committee that can help kind of filter decisions or thoughts and things from the top to us.
Okay.
But
You got
yeah,
to get on
that's
that.
also
Yeah.
yes. And I know there's been quite a
Yeah.
few people who have been trying to make it happen. So hopefully that's soon,
Yeah.
because if we're going to grow as a league, that's definitely something that's probably the downfall or the negative right now in the space that has so much positive. Like we have a lot of stuff going for us. I think the AUSL has done a really
Yeah.
good job in a lot of things. But as players, we have to like take initiative and take charge on that, because we have to also protect ourselves and like get things for ourselves that we deserve. And I think
Yeah.
we're in like the best position right now to do that. But I also think it takes, as women in sports, I think we're always like very grateful, and I think that's great. I think having gratitude is can take you a long way, and we should all be grateful. But I think we also like need to push more for things when we deserve more. We know we should get more. And again, you can have gratitude and push for those things. So I think that like the player association is definitely gonna be needing to come soon, so we can kind of fight for what we want and need and should have as players.
Absolutely. So well said. I mean, it is the delicate dance of every woman on this planet, right? You're like,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Also, could you pay me?
Right.
Could we get a
Right.
softball field that is not in the middle of a AAA stadium? You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
delicate dance. Is that like the
Yeah.
next step for you? Like if you could, you have a bag of cash. What's your first move to grow AUSL?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that needs to happen for sure for players. I think I'm interested to see what happens when we gain more teams, because right now John and Jonathan are at the top and they own all of like AUSL. There's no, owner for one team.
Mhm.
So, and that in the past is what's been, I think, the issue is why things didn't grow, because you had a lot of like battling egos of like people want to just own the thing and do it themselves. So I do think this has got us to where we are, but I'm curious to see what happens when we get more teams and more, you know, manpower and all the things. Is that going to shift, and what does that look like? I think is my like where I'm not any type of business person in this, but like, what does that look like, and how can we sustain what they have when that happens and when we gain more teams? So
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work or what's going to happen, but that I'm curious as to that.
Yeah, and we're seeing that in the PWHL too, right? Like
Yeah,
eventually those teams are going to get individual
right.
owners
You have to, right?
and hopefully. All right, so just a couple more questions. What is like one thing that you want to happen in Japan for softball and one thing for AUSL? Like something tangible that you're like, well, this would make it even better.
Oh, that's awesome. I think in the AUSL, I mean, this is like I'm shooting for the stars here, but like I would love a full-time salary. I love Japan, but I would love to be able to just like play here and make a longer I would love a longer season and a sustainable salary. So maybe the longer season is probably first and we could add to our salary. And then next step, like I would hope that we have a salary that we can like be here full time. But in Japan, I would love maybe, I always say like I wish a Japanese and American like softball player could just like come together and
Yeah.
learn each other's things because it would be the most perfect human athlete ever. So I wish they could come over here and like actually like do some of their training camps or like learn from us a little bit in different things. Which just that's like selfishly because I play over there. Like I want to get my team over here and like
Yeah.
show them our how we train, how we live our life here, how we have such a great balance of like softball and work and play and all the things. So that's what I wish like it was an easier thing for them to be able to come over here more often and kind of do what we do over there, being able to go live in their culture.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, just wrapping it up with a personal question. Um, First of all, I had no idea. Well, one of my questions going in was like, just obviously the obvious, like you're traveling all the time, you're going to Japan, like how it is to be like, balance your personal life. And then I was doing a deep dive on your Instagram, doing my nerdy research,
Yeah.
and I had no idea that your partner was Kelly Crashman. And I could, and
That's
my
so funny.
softball brain just literally exploded because it's, how it's like hard to recognize people outside of uniform, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've watched so much sports in my life, but like I just love so, and I go, how do I know that woman? I was like, how do
That's
I? And then
so
I go,
funny.
wait, oh, it's just a Hall of Famer, and
Well,
it's a
she's gotten the mohawk
yes,
since you probably
yes.
remember her playing,
Yeah,
so a
and
little
then I had the
different.
hat and like longer hair, and I was
Yeah.
like, huh. And I was like, oh my God, my mind was just like absolutely blown. And then I thought, my God, like, how do you guys balance? Like, she's coaching, like, how do you balance this? And then part two is like, I have to ask a question about the home demolition project because
Oh my
I
gosh.
know that was years ago, but just talk to me through like, obviously it's an asset to have her because she knows your entire life and you guys can talk
Yeah.
nerdy softball all day. But like, how do you do all of this? How do you balance
Yeah.
this?
I mean, I one she played in Japan a couple years, so she gets it. So
Okay.
that makes everything easier. She is always super supportive of everything I want to do. She's in mode right now too of she was with us around the assistant coach helping in the 2020 Olympics. And right now she's like, I want you to continue to go for it. Like
Yeah.
I will be here and do my thing and figure things out while you continue to play. Cause she's like, I got to play as long as I did. And she wants the same for me. So she never holds me back, which is awesome. She's like the smartest softball mind I've ever met in my entire life. So I I'm biased, but like I get so many nuggets from her all the time. Like she has helped me tremendously with my mental game and kind of getting me to where I'm at now. In like the elite professional space, which is super fun. We definitely talk shop a lot about softball, but then I'll be like, we'll just shut it down. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, we're done. We're good for the night. We're done. Like, let's put on our stupid trash shows, TV, whatever. Because we do. I mean, we
Yeah.
aren't ones that it's like we come in and it's like no softball talk in the house because
Okay.
it's our lives. We
Yeah.
both like it's a huge part of what we do every single day. So we just know the balance. We're like, we'll talk shop, get all the things out we need to process, and
Yeah.
then we're like, all right, we're
Is
done.
there
We're
like a
done for the
hand
night. So
signal to like wrap up the
I should
softball
be,
talk?
I should
It's like
figure that one
just
out. Yeah.
slip.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious. I should figure that one out. I'll get
Yeah,
back to you
figure
on
it
that.
out and then let me know what it
Yeah.
is. Okay, just wrapping it up. The Home Depot, like no, I should say Home Depot.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
basically,
demo.
we
You
live at Home
demoed your
Depot.
you have of course, because you're lesbian softball players.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you demoed your entire house, and I am like the like I get the like the sports,
Yeah.
lesbian gene, but I can't even like basically put a light bulb in. And I was like, this is so on point. Like it made me laugh so hard. I was like, that, but it was like a huge job. And I was like, were
Yeah.
you handy? Like,
Oh, okay. Well, I am not. I have learned a lot since doing it. I will
yeah.
say, if you ever want to just test your marriage and see how much you can handle of each other, either buy something on Amazon and build it together, and or just demo your whole house because there was definitely I'd be like, Kelly, we're done. We
Yeah.
need to separate. We are getting in different rooms right now. I need a breather. But she is like she's such a visionary. Like if she could and like go back to school, she would do like interior designing. Like
Okay.
she is fantastic at it. We were renting the house across our street actually, and this house we're in now came up for sale. And she's like, I want to do it. I'm like, let's do it. And we wanted to stay in the area, all the things, whatever. I was in Japan at the time when she's looking at buying, we're going to buy the house, but I'm not there physically. So obviously I know what the outside looks like. It was a absolute jungle shit show. First of all, the
Yeah.
house inside was also a shit show. And she's like, no, this is going to be, we're going to turn this into the kitchen. We're going to flip the kitchen over there. The washer and dryer stuff's going to go here. I mean, she like, and I'm telling like her mother and me, I'm like, what in the world? There's no way we can do this. And we did. It took a couple years, but like she's really pretty magical at all that. So we just like learned stuff as we went. She's definitely more handy than I am, but I was like, just we knocking stuff down, got some help on whatever. And I mean, yeah, I don't know how she did it, but she has transformed our entire house. So Kelly Crutchman also up for hire for home demo.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Yeah, I was looking at like your Insta
So
stories,
funny.
and I was just like, wow, this isn't just like what paint
Oh
should
no.
we get? I was like, you guys
Yeah.
were knocking down walls, and I was like, one of
Oh
them
yeah.
probably like spearheaded this, but I was trying to figure out like
Kelly,
Kelly.
1000%.
Okay.
And she's
Yeah.
like, this isn't a weight bearing wall. Here we go. Like we had never done this in our like,
Wow.
okay, we're in. And then once we did like one thing, it was like, okay, well now we have, I mean, you can't just do
Yeah.
one thing of this. It was
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I think
That's my wife right there.
it might be Mohawk confidence.
At 1000%.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, she pulls it off too. Because when I was looking at
Oh
the
yeah.
photos, I was just like,
Yeah.
she
No,
rocks that.
definitely. Yeah. I'm like, it's definitely her vibe.
Yeah.
She is thriving with that hair.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if I was gonna guess who was spearheading the demo of the house, I'd be like, I'm gonna probably go with Kelly.
Yep. You would
Yeah.
be accurate.
Okay. Well then we got it covered. All right. Well,
I'm
that's
glad
it.
you
Yeah.
I'm glad you went that far back on the Instagram because
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
was just
a
like
lot of good
looking,
things.
I like
Well,
talking,
that
like,
was probably
yeah.
on my highlights. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on your, yeah. I wasn't like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what is she
Hey,
doing
you
in
were, it's fine.
2012? But no, it was on the highlights, and I was like, because I just like talking, like, I like a fun balance of like nerdy
Yeah,
softball and like
yeah.
what is like this athlete's life like, and I was just like, home demo, like, yep.
Literally constant projects and they still are going.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you
Too
so much
funny.
for taking the time.
Yeah,
Please tell
absolutely.
Kelly I enjoyed her entire career. High
I
five her
will.
for me. But yeah, so yeah, good luck in Japan, and I
Awesome.
look forward to seeing you next summer at the Volts or wherever that
Yeah,
league goes.
awesome.
I think we're in really good shape. Would you say that we're the
I
state of
agree.
softball? Closing
I
note, state of
agree.
softball.
Yes. Well, softball it's on the up, 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 up. Like it is our time right here. So I'm excited for it.
Ally Carda, ladies and gentlemen. Is she not the coolest? How fun was that conversation? I just loved it. I thought it was like a fun, nerdy softball balance with some home renovation, and I had no idea she was dating or her wife was Kelly, who I saw play and was just like an absolute badass for softball and on the national team and an Olympian. I just love it. I just love it so much. So she heads back to Japan this week. So best of luck to her and her team this season. And if you are obsessed with softball like I am, there are 2 more weekends of AUSL All-Star Cup in Rosemont, Illinois. And most of the games are on ESPN, if not all of them. I will link their schedule in the show notes. The games have been real bangers, so check out that action. Okay, people, it's time for the feel good moment of the week, and that goes to 21-year-old Kaylee Frederick, who just made history at the Eastern States 100. Let's break down this race. It's 103 miles. What? Yep, you heard me. 103 miles through the Pennsylvania wilds. Whatever that means. It sounds intense because it is, with over 20,000 feet of climbing. Okay. Kaylee didn't just win this race, okay? She won the entire thing, finishing ahead of every man and every woman in the field. She crossed the finish line at 23 hours and 9 minutes, which is mind boggling, setting a new women's course record and becoming the first woman in race history to break 24 hours. I don't even, I can't even get my head around that. It's so incredible. And this comes at a time when our government is like a full on assault on women, right? Trying to roll back women's rights. They're about to try to repeal Title IX. and just shell out this gross, tired, horrific idea that women are weaker, we belong in the kitchen, we're somehow lesser of a species. It's so disgusting. So then you have an example like Kaylee, right? Just this incredible reminder of just how powerful women are and that we're capable of literally anything that we put our minds to. And I love this so much. After the race, she said, "We're starting to believe that maybe I'm not just the road runner like I always believed. Maybe I could be a trail runner too if I wanted. I kind of like the new Kaylee that isn't scared to bet on herself." Come on, let's go. It is so feel good and so empowering. I love it. And that is our show, Herlighters. I'll be back next week with another amazing guest. Here's a hint: we're talking women's professional baseball. Let's do it. I love it. As always, subscribe to the show wherever you're listening. Give it a 5-star review and leave comments. I love comments. I love reading your comments. It makes my day. Fans, friends, family, have the best week of your life.